I typically don't share about my work at Advent Health, but today I did something very special and I feel like I have to share it with you. I wanted to work on this project for some time where I take customer input that we receive through multiple channels such as iOS review, Android review, NPS feedback, Medallia feedback, UX research, and the customer support ticket that we received through ServiceNow. So today, Thomas and I worked on this project. Thomas is our UX researcher who do a lot of user interview, user testing, UX research. Together, we combine all these insights and run some AI prompts.
Benny, thank you so much for including me in this. I'm a user experience researcher, and my main role is to gather data for our UX designers to help make decisions for their designs. Or if they're considering a design, go discover what our consumers are thinking. Again, shop around an idea, discover an idea, and then validate those solutions all through the process of design.
In this video, I will show you what exactly we did and all the excitement around it. And we will also show you some of the insight that we generated through this process. Now, understand this, we had some public facing data such as iOS and Android review, which are public by default. So for those type of inputs, we were able to run ChatGPT prompts. For service desk data, Medallia information, we run Microsoft Copilot because it's behind the wall and Microsoft guaranteed that information will stay inside our company. So we took that approach to divide the input in two different processing.
Maybe I'll give some context on the NPS and how we get that. So every quarter, we send out a survey asking consumers to provide feedback. The data that we gave ChatGPT was really an aggregate of all 4 quarters of 2004. That way we can have a holistic view throughout all of our releases, throughout all the steps that we've taken as a product team to really understand the product as a whole throughout the year.
Next, I will show you our initial prompt. One of the things that we did is to use ChatGPT to create our prompt. We went through a couple of iterations to adjust the prompt and then utilize that final prompt to generate our reports.
I'm amazed at just the prompt artistry that I've seen you show me.
For ChatGPT, we provided these three files: export of Apple App Store review, export of Google Play Store review, and NPS. Before we gave this file to ChatGPT, we made sure that there is no sensitive information. Once we ran that prompt, what we got was mind-blowing. ChatGPT analyzed the file and generated the initial insight for us. Then I noticed that it did not have iOS review because iOS review was a text file and it was harder for it to analyze that. But once we requested to analyze that file, it extracted all that information in a very nice format with the key insight and everything.
We did notice that it wasn't actually parsing all the data, so we adjusted some prompts. And then once we did that, we went back and it did everything.
And then we asked it to create a executive summary for our vice president. We intentionally did not give much information, but reminded that you are a market researcher and product management consultant. You know what to include in this report. That's typically how you manage your employee as well. You don't tell exactly how to do the work. You tell the work and why behind it, and then let this person decide what format to use, what information to include. Then it created that insight. And this was incredible. The type of information that it was able to process from these three files was mind blowing. Then I asked it to create a tabular executive report, which it did, where it included the category or theme, key insight, recommendation, and number of related reviews.
And to contrast this process with my previous process, this type of analysis just for 1 quarter, 3 months of data coming in from consumers, probably takes me about 3 to 4 days, depending on the amount of data coming in to do this. And we did that in less than 2 hours.
After that, we asked it to create a insight for our product manager so that 20% of our backlog can be driven from that insight. We will be going to a quarterly planning a week from now, and this insight could be very useful for them. And that's where I think the real magic happened, where it explained what it's going to do. And then we had a prioritized list of themes. And then under those themes, it created 18 different items that we can focus on. It also created KPIs for us, which was really amazing. And then I wanted to give it some tangible insight to our development team about each of these themes. And it did a really good job with listing some real comments from our users. And then finally, I asked it to create a detailed report of their summary and all the detail. And it did an amazing job, including executive summary, the methodology that was used, analysis and finding, and recommendation, metrics, some highlight of exact feedbacks, KPIs, and all. We were mind blown by the information that we received with this experiment, and we plan to use these insights in our quarterly planning week after next.
Not only did we create the executive summary, we also created a detailed report, plus also came up with directives for our planning in a couple weeks. So again, just this process here was mind blowing to say the least. So I can't thank you enough for allowing me to be a part of it.
So I hope this video was informative. I would highly encourage you to try these for your application to gain insight, transform all the feedback into insight that can take your app to the next level. Bye for now.